Hello, and welcome back to West Ham Reunited. It's match day, but we're not actually previewing the game. What we're doing, we're previewing the game for Sunday, but the reason why we're doing it today is we've got YouTube royalty, Twitter royalty, I should say, in ExWHU employee helping us preview the Spurs game on Sunday. But before we get cracking and speak to X, I'd like to thank our channel sponsors. Glazewise, so any windows, doors, conservatories in the Essex, Kent, and London area, John is your man. And if you quote West Ham United, you get a discount. So, as you know in the intro, you see it all there. And of course, we're supporting I am supporting food banks. I'll be going to Tesco after I finish here. They're short on tuna, Jazz, tuna, tin tuna.
Tuna,
I
thanks for
spoke
letting
to
me
John
know.
last night, so that's what they're short on. So on my way to the supporters club, I'll be donating some tuna for them, tin tuna.
I've got to make sure my cat's not watching me as I'm taking it out then, slowly.
Yeah, no, definitely. First of all, Jazz, how are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Match day, got half a day today, so we'll be shortly leaving. I live about a couple of hours away, but I like to get there early and everything and get settled in and get in the mood, really. So, yeah, really
Yeah,
happy,
definitely.
really excited, yeah.
And X, how are you, sir?
All good, mate. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction you gave me as well, mate. I've never been called that before, so I'll come back now. You've done that.
Do you want to record that and maybe put that on instead of the hate? Put that intro on your Twitter.
I think I might do. That's right, mate. Yeah, I might take a recording of it to give me a bit of a pep talk every now and again.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, you's doing stuff with you and Dave doing stuff with your podcast, but me and Jazz were talking yesterday. When it's 3 games in a week, it's like 6 shows a week you're doing. Do you know what I mean? It's mad.
It is, mate. I mean, the thing is, as well, both Dave and I are looking to increase the content as well. So I think pretty much most of my like awake life is going to be talking about West Ham soon. Which I guess there's worse things to be talking about, but also probably less stressful things to be talking about as well.
I suppose you and Dave might have to start delegating to the kids. The kids do the
Yeah.
shows, cheap labour.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, I've got a 2-year-old, so he probably talks as much sense as me and Dave. So
Probably maybe a little bit better than Dave, to be fair.
yeah. You said that, mate. He's bigger than me, so I'll let you say that
I'll tell him on Sunday.
Yeah.
But no, Spurs. I know how much I hate Spurs, Jazz. I know especially how much Dave does. X, how much do you hate Spurs?
Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan, to be honest with you. See, I've got a really dirty confession to make, actually, and I'll do it on this show. There was a period when I went out with a girl, and her dad was a big Spurs fan. He had a box at White Hart Lane, and every now and again, when West Ham weren't like playing, or it was on we were playing on Saturday or West Ham on a Sunday, I would go. I actually saw Sol Campbell's debut for Arsenal at White Hart Lane in St. Clements. That was quite a tense game. So there was a period of time where I wouldn't say I liked them, but I didn't hate them as much as your stereotypical West Ham fan. Needless to say, that relationship ended quite difficultly and so as a result of that, and a result of naturally not liking Tottenham anyway, I know I absolutely despise them as much as the next man. So yeah, no, I'm not a big fan either.
Me and Jazz always say it that the fans, especially the hype, are obviously missing the games. Do you think the crowd's going to play its part on Sunday?
I think so, mate. Yeah, I mean we're all up for this game, aren't we? I mean it's the game probably I noticed most on the calendar when the fixtures come out. So yeah, I think we're all going to be up for it. It's great to be back at the games. I'm obviously going today. Dave and I have made a pact that where we missed it so much over lockdown, we're trying to do as many away games as we can. So yeah, we're ticking off a lot of games this year, and this is probably the one though that I'm most looking forward to in the season, I would say.
I'll tell you what though, mate. Not just the game. We might as well give it a plug now. Me and Jazz we're buzzing for the event on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's not just me. It's been I actually played that position when I played 11-a-side. That seems even long ago, and I've done a couple of Dixie tackles in my time, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm guessing you are as well, mate.
Oh yes, mate. I mean, I look forward to it when the last guests came through the door, because obviously my role in the events is getting the people in and stuff. So once everyone's in, I'm done and I can enjoy it. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, Julian, like what you've just said, was an absolute legend to me as well growing up. You know, he was in the team when I first started going, and then obviously went to Liverpool for a bit and then came back. And yeah, just a legend. And he's such a nice guy. You know, Dave and I are lucky through having done the event with him before, having done about 2 or 3 podcasts with him now. We both speak to him quite regularly, and obviously doing the event on Sunday, we know him quite well, and he's just such a top bloke as well. You know, like sometimes when you meet your heroes, you can be disappointed, but with Dixie, certainly not. It's the opposite. If anything, he's a top gentleman and obviously a West Ham icon. And what makes him so interesting is that obviously he had a great playing career, but then he came back as Slav's assistant. So he's got a lot of stories from a different era to his playing career to tell as well. So yeah, it's going to be great on Sunday. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I've been going to these events for ages, isn't it? I think,
yeah.
And it's. I mean, McAvenny, Phil Parks, John Moncur, just top of my head. You kind of met them, get things signed, photos, have a chat with them, and get drinks as well. And so I kind of encourage everyone to kind of, if it's too late to come along, certainly look out for the next one and join the West Ham Way sort of podcast and Patreon. It's such a value for money, X. I'm not just saying it because you're on. It's less than a pint of beer you get at the ground, and the amount of content that you guys churn out in all kind of forms. I know I was doing work last night late, and I had the podcast, listening to all the old interviews. Mad Dog. Martin Allen. He's kind of from Reading originally, Berkshire. I'm not too far from him, and I remember going to a match with his dad once. He probably won't know, back in 89, 90. So carry on the good work, and I encourage all our viewers to kind of support you guys. Really, you're top people, you and Dave, and I love you boys. And hopefully, I haven't seen you guys for ages, so Sunday it'll be brilliant, mate.
Yeah, no, it will be. It'll be great to see you again as well, mate. And thank you for that plug. I mean, we like to think we bring value for Twitter. You get people that say £5 a month and I make a big deal about it, but really,
Just lost you a bit, X, I think.
In November, and we've got all the
back.
other.
Oh, you're back.
Have I gone?
You're back now. You're back now.
Sorry.
Okay.
I was just so happy with Jazz's plug. It was. I was just saying thank you for it. We like to think we bring value for money, and we put a lot of effort into it. You always get haters that say, "Oh, £5 for leak news," but as you know, it's far more than that. I just wish people would shut up and try it, and then if they did, they might realise that it's not what all these idiots say. So I appreciate it. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you both. Actually, it'll be good to chat to you in person.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like I said though, X, it's like the prizes you give away every month. Obviously, I won the first one, that signed 86 shirt, and we won't. It's not past 9 o'clock, so we won't say the fingering part and stuff like that. It's a bit early for that.
It is a bit crude, isn't it? But, we give out prizes. We've got We've got you get % off your event tickets. There's the build up to the match day. Obviously, there's so much to it, and I just wish people would try it rather than knock it. But sometimes it's easier to dig people out than to support them, isn't it? So, but thanks for your guys supporting you. And like I say, I'm looking forward to seeing you both.
Yeah, no, definitely. So let's move on to the game. Obviously, I know we're playing tonight, so it's a bit different. But the rumours, what's been happening, obviously Tottenham are not taking any of the outfield players what featured on Sunday, and they say it's our cup final. How do you feel about that?
Well, like you said, you just summed it up perfectly there. They say it's our cup final, and then they're doing that. It's just an absolute joke, isn't it? I mean, their fans are just ridiculous when they say that, and then they team acts the way they have. I mean, I've actually heard the team tonight for West Ham. Obviously, I can't say now what it is, but we've put out a strong team. Of course, there are changes, but we have a strong nucleus there. Whereas Tottenham, they're playing all their sort of reserves, it seems. So yeah, that just sums it up. And despite that, I'm still confident. I still think, even though they're ahead of us in the league at the moment, I think we've been performing better. I just feel confident about it. I think the team's just really good and really, really challenging in every game. And there's never a game we go into it I think, we're going to struggle here. I always feel like we can get something out of any game. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, definitely. The one game obviously we've got close to, I know we're meant to be previewing the game, was obviously the one that we was unable to attend, the 3-0, obviously a year on. I know we're going to talk about the previous games. I remember how high my voice went when that Lanzini goal went in. Jazz, do you remember what you was doing?
I screamed the place down, ran across the front room, and we just and my cat was quite young. She shot out the room, and my wife was next door with her friend. They thought something had gone on. It's just my son was upstairs because he'd gone upstairs when we were 2-3-0 down. He'd gone upstairs, and yeah, you can't sort of put value in moments like that. It's. I was watching it in slow motion. I go, is that really going where I think? And then obviously, my son goes, Dad, wait for VAR. Just wait. And I obviously celebrated by then. It's too late.
What about you, X?
Yeah, no, very similar. I've got 3 children. Got a 2-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 10-year-old. The 10-year-old and 7-year-old are a bit more immune to my random screams at the TV now. But the 2-year-old, given this was a year ago now, wasn't it? So he was only 1. He burst into tears and started crying the house down because he was so alarmed at my reaction, and obviously didn't understand why I was shouting and screaming and stuff. And I even think from memory, I did a knee slide as well. And at my age and my weight, that is not the most sensible thing to be doing. So yeah, I think I might have even injured myself a little bit in the process. But yeah, as Jazz said, it was a magical moment. And you look at some fans of Man City and Man United and so on that win everything all the time and expect success. I don't think they get moments like that because in reality, it was a last minute draw. Okay, it was against our biggest rivals, but it was still, those moments are so special to West Ham fans because success and stuff isn't as common for us. And then those moments almost seem better than it would do supporting anyone else, I think. And so yeah, that is a real magical moment that stands out and probably the highlight of lockdown, I guess. That and Yarmolenko's goal against Chelsea as well. I remember that being a big moment too. So yeah, a really special goal, special moment, and we'll see that goal until we see our grave. I think we're going to be forever seeing that goal. So.
West Ham Online just said I was around my mates who support Spurs. We went mental in celebration that I got a dog bite in return. Oh wow!
It's like a war medal, isn't it? I got a dog bite in return for something heroic.
No, definitely. Obviously, it sort of depends on the result what we get tonight. Which, me personally, we had the Euro expert on X the other night, and he said this will be the toughest game more than Zagreb because of the way they play. Okay. Do you think? See, what I'm not asking for but you're saying if the team is going to be strong, I think if they can, it's momentum, isn't it? Continuously playing football. You've got the momentum, that winning mentality. That will obviously take us advantage on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, that's why when you talk to anyone that played in that 1986 season, when we narrowly missed out on winning the league, we interviewed Alan Dickens last night, for example, who was a key part of that, and they always tell you that once they got on that run and the win started to come, they didn't want to stop playing football. They every time they'd finish the game, they wanted to play the next game. So I think you're right. Momentum is really, really important. I think we have to be a bit careful how we manage certain players, and there's a couple of players that I wouldn't have started today that are starting. So that's a credit to Moyes because he's taking it very seriously.
Yeah.
But I think we do have to manage them carefully. But it's what I do like from the team today is that it shows we do really want to do well in this tournament. Bearing in mind we've got our biggest rivals in the league in the Premier League in 2 days' time. It's a credit to us and to him to show that he's how seriously he's taken it.
Yeah, no, definitely. The one thing what I will say, this is a question you don't have to answer now. It will be at the end. I've been sitting here thinking because I actually sit opposite a Tottenham fan in work. So, what's the greatest goal you've seen live? What we've scored against Spurs? So that'll be one for you. So we'll answer that at the end, and anyone in the chat if they've got any memories, because I mentioned a couple to him. So that's a bit. X, how do you feel with regard? I know you sort of say it on your podcast every now and again, and you mentioned it as well. You can't really drop a goalkeeper on a clean sheet, but if Areola has a worldie, he should have a chance for Sunday, surely.
He should, but I don't think he will. I think Fabianski will be the goalkeeper against Spurs. That's not ITK knowledge. That's just sort of predicting. I obviously don't know the team for Spurs, but I think he's decided that Fabianski's for the moment is the Premier League keeper, and Areola's going to play all the cup games. And thankfully, at the moment, with the fact we're still in the League Cup, and obviously we're in the Europa Cup as well, and then we got the Europa League, and then we've got the FA Cup to come. Areola is getting a fair amount of games, but yeah, my opinion long term is that Areola is the better keeper now. I would say. I mean, that's a bit harsh on Fabianski because I'm not judging it on. Areola's only played a few games against sort of weaker opposition as such, apart from in the Carling Cup or in the League Cup, obviously against Man United. But I think Fabianski is. I hate to say it. I think he's not as strong. I've said it on the podcast before as he was a couple of years ago. He's still a good keeper. He's still very good. I would offer him a new deal for next season, like a 1-year deal. But I think the future is leaning towards Areola, definitely.
Yeah, I think his distribution for me, X, is just up and down. He doesn't like kicking the ball out, doesn't come out. So the defenders get a bit nervous knowing he's not going to come out. It's just things like that. And yeah, I prefer the other one, but I'm not David Moyes and he's proved us wrong on more than one occasion. One thing I wanted to quickly, does anyone know the distance between our 2 grounds? Roughly what it would be? It's a bit of a trivia that Marzi likes.
Between Spurs and West Ham.
Yeah.
What, the ground now?
Yeah, in miles. Yeah.
I'll go with 12, something like that.
I'm going to go 9.
It's 12.9.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's 12.9, really. Another thing in history in terms of the games, there's so many games with 3-2, things like that going on. It's so many goals, isn't it, between these 2 teams? It's astonishing, really. In history, Spurs have won 45% of the games. 24% have been drawn and 30% West Ham have won. So yeah, Spurs have got a bit of the edge really in that, but there's not much between them really. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like you said, it would be a great result if we do get it. Talking about Spurs, obviously they played Newcastle on Sunday. Obviously we can't really write into the result they're getting, the fact that they're not taking their 10 outfield players, so win, lose or draw, they're not going to be featuring on Sunday, or very unlikely. X, did you watch the game last Sunday of Spurs? What did you make of them?
Because I was at the Everton game, so I was driving.
Oh
back
wow, lucky you!
I was at the West Ham game, so I was driving back from that. So I listened to it on the radio, but obviously you can't judge it as well on the radio. But from what I've seen of Spurs, that I haven't been that impressed with them this season. Obviously, Harry Kane's not been the same. Although that said, usually playing West Ham is the perfect remedy for something like that, isn't it? But I think they just don't seem to be as strong all rounders. Perhaps I thought they have been in the past. So obviously I'm not writing them off, but I feel probably as confident going into this game as I have done for a number of seasons, I would say.
Yeah, X, it's a shame that we've never played each other in the final. I think you remember the 91 semi-finals where
Yes.
if we'd beaten Forest, we would have played Spurs. Can you imagine what
Amazing.
occasion that would have been, you know?
Yeah, it would have been huge. It would have been massive. I mean, that was my first season
Yeah.
going to West Ham that year, and that semi-final that we lost to Forest was my first ever game that I've been to of West Ham's, not at Upton Park. So yeah, if we just won that, like you said, Jazz, the final against Spurs, that'd have been huge, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Could have sold Wembley over twice, I think, for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, no, obviously, I'm nervous, but I think it is just because of the fact that I sit right next to the away fans in the London Stadium as well, and I don't think I could take Tottenham winning just because of the noise as well. Their fans are just so irritating. But
I always find like I've got a Facebook account which I don't really use very much, to be honest, because obviously my life is dominated a little bit by Twitter. But I've got a Facebook account, and I always find that over years I've got friends on there from when I was at school and stuff like that, which is a long time ago. And I tend to think over the years gone by, I forget what football teams people support. But so the only time I can ever remember if someone supports Spurs now is when the minute Spurs actually do something or they beat West Ham, they all come out the woodwork and it's all over their like statuses and stuff. And I'm like, I don't even remember you being a Spurs fan, because they never talk about it unless they're trying to gloat or wind someone up or something. I can't stand their mentality. And I've got friends in inverted commas that are Tottenham fans, and they they like claim to be the biggest fans ever. They got Spurs tattoos, wear Spurs merchandise all the time. But I don't think they've ever been to a game. I don't know. I just find their support very, very odd. And full well, if Spurs got relegated, which I would love so much to happen. But if they ever did get relegated, they would never get anywhere near the amount of fans that West Ham used to get when, we were in the Championship and stuff.
I think Danny took a few hundred to one of the European away games as an example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
150 people to Nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
They're just such fickle fans. We're selling out Zagreb, Genk, and Vienna, and they can't get anywhere near their allocations. Go to somewhere like Nice. It's ridiculous, really. Such fickle supporters, I think.
We must have broken the record, isn't it, in terms of attendance, Europa? Who else is going to get near 60?
Yeah, exactly. And we can sell out more. I know people that are going to Belgium and they have no hope of getting a ticket. If we could get a bigger allocation, I honestly think we'd sell like 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 for these games.
Yeah, no, definitely. And obviously, you sort of touched on him there, Harry Kane. I'm glad he did get his first goal last week instead of against us on Sunday. I know he would have a bit of confidence for that, but like you said, we've got them 13, 14 players who can come in and slot in nicely in the Premier League. Do you reckon Moyes may put a surprise in on Sunday to try and catch Spurs out, or do you reckon we should still have enough anyway?
I think the team against Spurs will be the team that played against Everton would be my prediction. I don't think he will change it, because the team played so well against Everton. I know it was only a win by one goal, but we dominated that game and we could have won by a lot more. And I think unless there's an injury, because obviously some of those players are playing today, unless there is an injury, though, I think he'll go with the same side personally.
Yeah, I think the formations are exactly the same between both teams, 4-2-3-1. And when you look at last season's two games, the 3-3, we played kind of a wing-back system, which didn't work with kind of 5 at the back. And the one where we won 2-1, we matched them up 4-2-3-1. So hopefully Kufal's back. I don't know, X, if you know anything more about his fitness.
I think he would be. Yeah, I don't think he will be, mate, to be honest with you. I think he's got another couple of weeks. I mean, I could be wrong. Okay. He might be ahead of schedule, but I would say it's unlikely, definitely.
I wouldn't risk him anyway if he's going to be out for longer. I wouldn't personally.
Thank you to Matic for that, isn't it? Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We won't keep you much longer, X, but I know you sort of mentioned it on the podcast, West Ham Online mentioned it here. Did you actually know about the plastic surgery until it got released yesterday?
No, I didn't, to be honest with you. I hadn't heard that. I mean, I knew obviously he was in a bad way and that he needed to have something done to his lip. But I wasn't aware that it was as severe as having plastic surgery. I mean, I was actually sort of joking to a player the other day about like how he could do with having his face reconstructed. And then,
was it Ian Dowie? Ian Dowie, was it?
yeah, that wasn't Ian Dowie, but and then it turns out like behind the scenes that was actually going on, and yeah, it was pretty nasty really when you look at it, and no, what a man though. I mean, as far as I'm aware, and I don't want to give away too much. The guy is available for selection for today, so you know the fact that he's prepared to play in a game tonight, when he's just been through that shows how much he puts his body on the line. You know, look at the game. I think it was Tottenham, wasn't it, last year? Tottenham, when he got that bloodied face and he tried to get up and throw himself in front of the ball. You know, before he got treatment. So the man clearly puts his his body on the line for West Ham, and as fans, you love to see that, don't you?
Yeah, no, definitely. X, we've got another question. West Ham Online's throwing them in, but obviously you were there, so you heard it a bit better. Danny Dyer song, do you reckon that could get trending tonight in the ground?
Do you know what? The game against Everton, I go with Dave, but for this one, I actually took my daughter.
Oh God!
I know exactly. And we were where we were saying, you know, she's 10. That game, that chart was really going off, and I thought I'd got away with it a few times, and I thought, right, when's she going to ask me what this actually means? And she didn't. And I was like, I've got away with it. And just as we were going out, literally walking down the street, a load of West Ham lads started singing it, and she said to me, Daddy, what does that mean? And I was like, God, one of those real awkward questions. And I was just kind of like, oh, don't worry about it. It just means that Bowen's playing really well. I mean, it's sort of fobber, or I think I've said playing really well on and off the pitch like that. I just kind of left it at that, and I seem to manage to get away with it. But yeah, it's quite a witty chant. I quite like it, and Bowen needs a chant, doesn't he? So yeah, I think it'll be it'll stay. Whilst he's still doing what he's doing to her.
I just hope it's not going to be Danny Dyer ending up going in the dressing room. Imagine that. You'll see exactly. the real Danny Dyer and one of that coming in.
Yeah, I can't imagine West Ham fans will see it if the real Danny Dyer's around, probably. But whilst he's not visible, then I think the
can you imagine it? He's the halftime guest and he walks out.
Yeah. They'll be sung by all four stands, I think. Then.
But no. What I'm going in early, but Jazz, what's the score going to be on Sunday?
Oh wow, it's going to be a few goals. I think looking at the history. The problem I've always got is my head versus my heart. That's the problem most West Ham fans I think have. So I'm probably going to go with. I'm going to go with a 2-2. I think at the moment 2-2. Yeah, my mind. Yeah.
As long as we don't lose.
I think we got to remember we've lost both games at home after Europa, both of them, United and Brentford. I think, even though it went down to the last minute, and it looked like that goal that Kane scored is going to help him now. Son for me is the best Spurs player by a mile. Didn't realise he was 29. I don't know why he signed a contract with that club. Absolute crazy, both of these forwards, what they've done. But 2-2 for me. Marzi 2-2.
X.
I'm going to go 2-0, mate. I'm loving life at West Ham fan. Maybe I'm being a bit too overconfident, but I think I'm going to go for 2-0. I mean, there's part of me thinks 2-1 maybe, but I was so impressed with Zuma and Ogbonna's partnership, and Johnson was great against Everton, and Cresswell's been solid. I just fancy our chances. I mean, my prediction of West Ham results is never great, so the people shouldn't really pay too much attention to this. But I just feel confident, and Jazzy is right. We haven't been the same at home, particularly after Europa, and I feel less confident with it being at home, but because it's them. And I think the fans will be up for it. I think, I'm going to go with 2-0 West Ham.
Good.
I'm going in. I'm going 3-1.
There you go.
I'm going 3-1. I think Zuma's going to get his first goal for the club. I'd
Yeah,
love him
good
to
shout.
score as well. I reckon Antonio, because he always loves scoring against them. And I'm going to go for Declan Rice to make it 3-1. I reckon it'll be 2-1, and then Declan Rice will make it 3-1.
He would love that as well, wouldn't he? Can you imagine his reaction if he got that third against Spurs? That'd be great.
Yeah, and talking of Rice, West Ham Online again. He's putting it in there. We need to make a proper chant for Deck. I don't think there is one, X, is there, at the minute for Deck, really?
No, I mean there are a couple, aren't there, that knock around, but they never sort of get the full momentum like other chants do. So yeah, I mean there's one, about him being here, there, and everywhere, like what we used to see with John Moncur, didn't we? And then there's the Declan Rice, Declan Rice, that one.
Yeah.
But there's no, it doesn't really seem to sort of spring into everyone singing it.
Yeah. No, definitely. We need to come up with one, because I love Fornals' one.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Although, what happens when we've been to Vienna, though? Do we have to change it after that?
We beat Rapid Vienna, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll have to. Yeah, no, definitely. Oh, West Ham Online, really? I'm going 2-1 Spurs. Sorry to be negative.
I'll leave it out.
Kick him off, mate.
Get rid of that comment. Get rid of that comment.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how can you think that? No.
Yeah.
I just hope whatever happens, knowing Spurs, there's no dodgy penalties, sendings off. Whoever wins it fair and square, I think, which never happens against Spurs sometimes.
Yeah, no, definitely. I saw a few of them comments West Ham Online as well. A few Everton fans, even on one of their fans, were saying that's the best performance he's seen from a player from Declan Rice. That's a great compliment, isn't it, for him?
But do you know what? Do you know what though? Like I honestly believe that yes, against Everton he was exceptional, and that was like one of his best performances. But I believe he plays not far off that standard every single game. But we just kind of almost expect it now, and I still believe, and I know people don't agree with me on this, I still believe he was robbed of Hammer of the Year last year. Like I know Souček and Sheffield did brilliant, and I love both of them, but the guy Declan just gets 8 out of 10 every single week, and we almost just expect it. So I think in some ways we're a bit complacent with his standard of performance now, and we just expect it because I just think he's just so good. I honestly believe he's 22, come 25, 26, 27. I mean, how good is that fella going to be?
Yeah, it's amazing stamina, can run all day, isn't it? Brilliant.
Yeah,
no, definitely. X, obviously you put it up there as well, but I've put it on our Twitter page, everyone, as well. But Paul Tini is the referee for Sunday, and he likes a card, so you wouldn't be surprised if there's a sending off.
Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be a feisty affair, isn't it? So there's every chance, I guess.
I'm looking for. I know I've not. Well, Tottenham fan thinks is the next thing since sliced bread, but be a good battle. Obviously, Rice and Souček won against Doucouré and Allen. I think we're going to win against Holberg and Skip, surely.
You would think so. Definitely. I mean, obviously, Rice is ahead of Skip massively in terms of his ability, and even looking at England's selection, there's no way Skip's going to ever get in over Rice. And then I would say that Souček's a better player, certainly a better all-rounder than what's his name? I've forgotten. Holberg. Yeah. Like, I mean, he's good defensively, isn't he? But I don't think he's as all-rounder good player as Souček.
He's a dirty player, isn't he? Holberg?
Yeah.
Got to watch out for him, see what he's up to, really.
Yeah. Thanks to the disabled team as well. Being a Leeds fan, he wants us to win as well. 2-1. Love it. That's really good to hear. X, do you want to add anything before we go? We know our time precious is to you, so we thought.
No, I mean, you asked the question at the start of the show. Can you think of any goals that were special for West Ham aside from that Lanzini one, and one that springs into my mind, which I think is a very underrated goal. Actually, it doesn't get talked about much. And I was at this game as well, so I remember the feeling of when it went in was Ian Pearce. Last minute, it must have been late 90s, sort of outside the area, cracked it in.
It was actually Glenn Roeder, 2001, 2002.
Was it that season? Yeah,
wasn't it? Yeah.
That was a great goal. Then obviously there's the Obiang's, that was superb. At Wembley, the away game against them, that was an amazing goal. And then sort of one game against Tevez as well. Sorry, the free kick in a game we actually lost, but kind of kick-started our great escape, didn't it? But one game that stands out for me against Spurs that I'll never forget, and it's still up there with one of my favourite ever West Ham's games, like against anyone, is the one where we beat them. I think it was 4-3.
Yeah.
And Hartson and Kitson scored, and Julian got the winner, I think. And legendary game that. And to have Julian as our guest on Sunday, I'm sure that game will be brought up.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Monday night that was, Monday night.
Yeah, exactly. It's very windy. If you remember, do you remember Hartson's goal?
Oh my God,
everywhere. And I think, was it Anderton or Sheringham, one of them for them, got a really fluky goal because of the weather as well. So yeah.
Even Kitson's goal, when the corner came in, it went the other way, and then
exactly.
Yeah, and the other one for me is, do you remember Carlton Cole on the swivel outside the box at Upton Park?
Yes, and then he went and gave it away, didn't he? To them a bit later. It was the classic definition of Carlton Cole. 1 minute brilliant, the next minute dreadful.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. And West Ham Online said, I forgot about that one as well. Obviously, Morrison's as well.
Of course, Morrison's, yeah.
But no. X, I'd love to... Jazz, do you want to add anything before we go, mate?
No, really glad X came on. I know everyone's so busy with so many games coming on, and you got the events to organise as well. So really appreciate that. And we'll get the Dave on as well, hopefully, at some point. I know Dave's running around as well. So really appreciate your time, X. Hopefully,
No, you're both good lads, and you've both supported us, so it's the least we can do. And good luck with everything you're doing, and any time in the future, give me a shout, and we'll see what we can do.
You're free tomorrow, X?
Actually, tomorrow I'm not. But honestly, in November I should be around a bit more. So
I'm only joking.
Yeah, so do give me a shout in November time.
No, I appreciate it. Appreciate it, X. One thing left for us to say is.
Come on, you guys.
Take care, everyone.